What do you think some of the best practices that you think a sales teams can use to continue filling top of the funnel? And this question is open because these are ideas which some of the people who are attending this webinar and people who are here, they can take back and they can go back and implement in their work areas.
I think, Vivek, first of all, I think so a dilemma to somebody could also be that, shall I focus on my existing clients or shall I do hunting at this hour when things are so uncertain? So my take on that is you have to hunt. And in my experience, I have seen that, it is very much possible to discuss, to negotiate large contracts in digital world and close those and start business. It is very much possible. Second is, we have to certainly look at slightly different ways of working. We all, let's say in our industry, there's certain events happen there, like XCon or IMME, we used to meet people, network. That doesn't happen now. So probably LinkedIn is a platform, which is, you have to use more actively. You have to use your network in a more efficient way now to see that, you stay engaged with people, sharing relevant information to the clients, using WhatsApp, maybe in an efficient way. I mean, not bugging your customers with daily good morning, good evening, but what relevant and good information you can share in a very crisp manner, which helps them. So I think so one needs to change ways of engagement and ways of working, but do not at all stop because this new way of working is going to be there. So we change our ways of working, earlier the better, and continue the journey with the same passion as we as a salespeople used to do in the field. So that's my take on that, and my experience, I have seen it works.
Yeah, it's a key thing is that customer engagement. Because in traditional world, your engagement was that kind of 1:1 meeting or a group, kind of visiting them personally at various levels. And in the new world, we find that first, of course, that was experience, but now in future is going to be the norm. That how you ensure in this world customer connect and customer engagement. So you need to evolve a different kind of practices, different kind of programs by which you ensure that customers are engaged. You are able to convey your messages. You are able to get them participate in some of the activities by which you kind of create a platform for solving problem together. And that gives a way for working forward. So that's one way which we adopted, and that was quite successful, to have the customer seminars or technical seminars. We started with that one. Similarly, we had a kind of interactions on to a small group basis, customer to customer, on the supply chain, because supply chain was disrupted. So how both the team work together on the supply chain and learning together. Second, the new way of kind of interaction is that typically the kind of our kind of business, we have kind of one visit per month or one visit per quarter, but those are extended one, right? So you go visit one visit, but spend 4 or 5 hours wherein you discuss, you kind of understand family problem X, Y, Z, ABC, and then you get into the core. So it's very long meetings. Now the meeting time is short. It's all productive meeting. The good thing is that you can interact with the 4 clients at 4 different countries or 4 different geographies in one day, which was otherwise would have taken, say, at least 1 week to 15 days. But here the key is that how you utilize that half an hour, 1 hour. So that meeting should be pre-planned, precisely effective on both the sides. And there should be frequent interaction. The frequency of interaction was taken up. So kind of maybe the number of hours spent with the customer remained same, but it was on the small capsules, and that helped in kind of making the meeting productive and effective on both the sides. So how we do the customer engagement and customer connect in the new world, and this is going to be norm, because now I'm seeing that going forward. Even this is the best way, productive way of utilizing each other's times and resources, right? We are able to provide a value proposition. We are able to identify customers' issues. Customers, in fact, are very clear that what they should demand from us. it become very productive interaction, and how we maximize on that, right? So these are the three, I think, few points which is the way the entire world is going to be different.
As everyone has been saying, the relationships will be there. Previously it was more physical, and now it will be a hybrid model of combination of both the physical meetings, if possible, or the virtual ones. And coming to the point of filling the top of the tunnels, one of the challenges what we found was in a virtual meeting, when the customers don't have a video on, how do we know that the customer is engaged, or the customer is actually listening to us, or he's onto something else? So we found a way that it was to be that we need to find X minutes of meeting only with the customer, only in X minutes, which we have, and we have the agenda fixed. And in that X minutes, we again broke it up into two. The first part is a personal level, connect with the person on a human level. We don't know, because a person is sitting in an office or in a factory or in a construction site or at a home. We don't know what's going through that person. So first connect for the first few moments on a human level to understand what situation is. Don't spend time much on that. Just connect. You understand his situation first. Be a human to human. And then you get into your what Mr. Virendra also said, learn and unlearn. You have unlearned and learned the way to work to sell it. So you need to be precise and impactful in whatever you are trying to solve the customer's problem. It's something like a laser bombing. You need to be precise and leave enough space for the customers to ask questions, change the topic every 3 minutes or so. So that's how we learned as a team that will help us to engage the customers. And the customer sees that, okay, this guy is not here to sell. This guy is here to solve a problem or solve my challenge. He's for me. And that's how we get to keep filling our funnels, which we were able to do it otherwise in a face-to-face meetings in a different setting, in a different way. So these were the two key parameters which we found, that being a human first, because we don't know what happened with that person during this situation. So you need to be human first. And then the second one is, don't bore him with few meetings. Come to the point, be impactful, a laser bombing kind of a thing. And then you can see the difference that the customer understands.
So I think, taking cue from Sridhar especially, I think it's very important that you communicate value within a very short span of time, which basically brings us to the question of sales enablement. In the sense, like, does your sales team have the right enablers? And which also boils down to a topic which is a very controversial topic and often misunderstood, is called content marketing. Generally, in industrial setups, what I have seen also, so I can be taken to court also for that, but pardon me. Predominantly, we have a lot of product data sheets, some application videos, and this and that. And a lot of communication is me. I want to communicate what I want to communicate, not what the other person wants to hear. Okay, but communication is all about, what does Apple communicate? Why do we watch their ads? If they have to communicate privacy, how do they communicate privacy? Okay, it's about the customer. It's not about me. Okay, so I think that's one piece. I think Deepak spoke about, and even Virendra spoke about that, all these exhibitions, meetings, effectively utilizing platforms, networking, time, very, very useful. That is more of outbound in nature. So one thing which is very important, which probably Deepak touched upon, is the inbound part. Now customers are also searching in the digital space also. See, nowadays I have come across buyers, etc., who are probably more educated and more equipped than me. Okay, they have research. But the good part is, if they have research and found my brand to lead the content pool, then the credibility of myself as a seller also increases. Okay, so what do we do from a content marketing perspective to a great extent? Will also help in terms of searchability. So I'll give you an example. So so Sridhar does something on mining. There is a particular technology in mining. Now customer wants to do some search. If he has to sort of depend on a salesperson of Sridhar who will go and hand over a sheet, and only then that person will know. That's a good way of doing things. But probably in today's day and age, probably you need to create a content pool around those type of topics, so that the customer, then your discussions can be very, very specific, pinpointed, and productive. Okay, and there are more number of customers beyond your existing pool. That's what inbound does. There are people outside of that pool also. I think Deepak is speaking about that. Okay, it is not about our existing pool. You have to diversify also. So those people will start coming to you. So what are you doing about that? So there is a science and art behind it. And in fact, One thing which I see is, so I'll give you an example of Salesforce. Most of the companies have Salesforce because it's a multi-stakeholder sort of a thing. I am not promoting Salesforce, but that is they do a good job. Let's accept that. But that's bottom of the funnel. They actually improve your efficiency. How many visits? Who are the stakeholders? Top of the funnel, unless you are actually able to communicate and through a proper content marketing plan, your top of the funnel will not be there. And beyond a point, what will you engage with? See, sales is over now. Continuous engagement. What is there for you to engage?